Shiloh Sanders drops six-word mockery on father Coach Prime after Deion Jr. calls him Turnt. Well, you know how anything Coach Prime says instantly becomes headline news. And by now, every Sanders fan knows Deion Sanders' online game is legendary. Whether he's setting the record straight on rumors, hyping up his sons, dropping life advice, or just stirring the pot. If anyone can even come close to Lane Kiffin's online banter, it's him. But it looks like this time, Coach Prime's social media antics might have actually backfired a bit. His son, Deion Sanders Jr., aka Bucky, playfully roasted him so hard that even Shiloh couldn't help but jump in and give his dad some playful ribbing too. But we all know Deion Sanders' kids love giving him a hard time. Isn't it funny how Shiloh Sanders constantly imitates his dad and even teases him about that 40-yard dash? Well, the whole nation knows Coach Prime claims he ran it in 4.27 seconds, but Shiloh just wasn't buying it. He made sure to bring up his disbelief every chance he got, saying stuff like, "There's no video of you running it," or "I haven't talked to anyone that has ever seen it." But this time, he teamed up with Deion Sanders Jr. to mess with their DAD. It all kicked off when Deion Sanders posted a tweet that said, "If they come, they're coming." Hashtag Coach Prime at CU Buffs football. Now, that could mean anything. Maybe about the Buffs making a huge comeback this season or a strong clapback at the haters. But Deion Sanders Jr. jumped in and reposted his dad's tweet with the caption, "Good Lord, dog." That's where the fun really started. He then immediately put the whole thing on his well off forever IG with the caption, "Coach Prime is too turnt." Shiloh even jumped into the fray, commenting, "Dad taking it too far now." Guess Coach Prime is never really off the clock with his kids around. Somehow Deion Sanders always finds time for some fun father-son ribbing, and this NFL draft season is no different. Shadur Sanders, now making his own way, jokingly accused his dad of having separation anxiety in an interview with Jane Slater of NFL Network. He talked about how Deion kept calling him during pre-draft meetings, leading Shadur to say, "I'm in the middle of meetings, and he's calling me." Shadur then added with a grin, like, "Bro, chill." Now you can see how his kids like to mess with him. Plus, Deion Sanders has every reason to be on cloud nine. His team is making some serious recruiting moves this season, already securing 14 commits. The best part? They're sitting in second place in the Big 12 for their 2025 recruiting class. If that makes him turnt, then what's the problem, right? Plus, his team is making early moves, hosting four-star tight end Landon Walney for a visit over the weekend. This one is from the class of 2027 and is already showing interest in the Buffs. That's huge. And on top of all that, Deion Sanders' team is making big waves in the transfer portal too. After getting a commitment from Memphis OL Xavier Hill, they landed one of the top receivers in the spring portal, Campbell transfer Sincere Brown. So, the haters can hate, but they can't stop Coach Prime's momentum, and that's exactly why he's so fired up. But can they actually turn things around for Coach Prime on the field? Doubts looming over Deion Sanders' Buffs' future. The hype storm has passed, but the lingering questions remain. Colorado enters its post-Shadur Sanders era with more uncertainties than certainties. While Deion Sanders injected flash and swagger into college football alongside Shadur and Travis Hunter, the Buffaloes now face their first Big 12 season without them. The shine has definitely worn off a bit. Deion created the buzz, but whether the project will actually succeed is still up in the air. As Cover 3 podcast's Tom Fornelli put it, now this will be the first time where he won't have his sons, but more importantly, you also don't have Travis Hunter. Colorado's recent offensive strategy was all about providing strong support for Shadur and Travis. That foundation is now gone. Colorado's flashy style just won't cut it anymore. They need some serious toughness. Analyst Fornelli echoed this concern. You were trying to supplement them, but now that those two were gone, will the way that they have worked in the portal have the same kind of impact? The Big 12 isn't going to give them any breaks. Success or failure will come quickly. There's very little margin for error, Fornelli warned. It is a coin flip league that they'll either thrive or quickly fall apart. Fornelli summed it up. If they hit gold in the portal, this is a Buffalo team that could once again be competing for a Big 12 championship berth. If they don't, things can go south pretty quick. Look at what happened to Utah last year. 1 year a preseason favorite, the next a 5-7 disappointment. Colorado will soon find out if Prime's magic can last without his two-star players. As NFL circles take notice of Shiloh Sanders, Deion Sanders Jr. shares straightforward message after combined snub. The Sanders family often finds themselves in the crosshairs of college football criticism, from Nepo baby jabs at Shadur and Shiloh to Deion facing heat for being a fiercely protective dad. They're no strangers to hate, that's for sure. But when it comes to having each other's backs, they don't need anyone else. Those Sanders boys close ranks and form their own unbreakable defense. Well, we know that when it comes to the NFL hype, Shadur Sanders has always found a spot. But poor Shiloh. He failed to get the edge for himself. So much so that the combine doors were closed for him. But the tables are turning in Shiloh's favor, and big bro Deion Sanders Jr., aka Bucky, couldn't be prouder doing some hype man duties. Deion Sanders must be caught up with some mixed feels. After all, he will have to let go of his sons, who are set to fly high, leaving his nest. But the flight in no way looks smooth, especially for the elder Sanders. While Shadur is projected to be a first-round pick, Shiloh Sanders comes off as a late-round pick on day 3 or 4. The Buffs safety got handed a reality check when the NFL released its list of 329 invitees for the 2025 Scouting Combine. And guess what? Shiloh's name was nowhere to be found. After suffering a broken forearm, Shiloh missed multiple games, and the Buffaloes went on a 3-game winning streak without him. So, maybe, the NFL scouts were under the impression that the safety hadn't contributed much at Colorado. Even when he returned for that Kansas State game after being sidelined for weeks, Shiloh didn't really make an impact. He managed to record 44 solo tackles and 2 fumble recoveries in 10 games. But his playmaking ability wasn't at the level many scouts expected. But the notions are changing, bit by bit. All thanks to his pro day feat. Shiloh ran the 40-yard dash twice. His first sprint of 4.52 seconds trumped his 4.59-second follow-up attempt. This was enough to zip up the critics. On April 11th, NFL Network's Brian Baldinger shared a clip from Shiloh's tape. The caption read, "At CU Buffs football at Shiloh Sanders brings 56 games of experience and a lot of splash plays from the safety position and a good open field tackler. Hashtag #NFLDraft, hashtag Baldy's breakdowns." An absolute proud moment for Deion Jr. as he reshared the tweet. One could sense the soul-satisfying moment for Bucky on Shiloh's glow-up from his caption. The well-off media tycoon wrote, "Yes, sir. Blessings. But hashtag he's coming fast you freaky as hell." Shiloh faced with tears of joy at Shiloh Sanders. Going by the buzz, the Dallas Cowboys can consider Shiloh, as he has the potential to be a diamond found in the rough during the 2025 NFL Draft. Just like Deion Jr. came suited up as his biggest supporter, a few days back, Shiloh found himself in the same position. Shiloh Sanders as Lil Bro's biggest hype man. Definitely, when it comes to a comparison game, Shadur comes off as a hotter target. The Buffs quarterback hailed himself as the top pick. But hardly did he realize that the analysts were all armed up to bring him down. It started with Field Yates' projection that Shadur would go as the number 6 pick, to which Shiloh's brother confidently replied, "That's crap, bruh. I ain't going 6th. Then came CBS Sports' Tom Fornelli with a bleaker reality. He saw Shadur going to the Pittsburgh Steelers as number 21 overall pick. That was not the END.AS per the recent updates. The Buffs QB stocks have hit the lowest. Shadur is projected to be going in the 2nd round, at pick number 33 to the Cleveland Browns. But what's the big reason behind the player losing all his charm? After all, he did prove himself athletically. From being the most sacked player in the history of college football in 2023 to being first in Colorado single-season passing yards, 4,134. First in Colorado single-season completion percentage, 74%. Shadur did not leave any stones unturned. But turns out that his off-field shenanigans made NFL scouts see him as a red flag that on February 21st, Shiloh Sanders reshared a post from NFL Rookie Watch. The caption read, "Some NFL teams are reportedly concerned that Sanders isn't solely focused on football, but rather his rap career and creating a personality out of himself." Plus, the Buffs QB was called out as arrogant for his watch-flexing move. Did Shiloh turn a deaf ear to all the hate? No way. The Buffs safety took his stand and wrote, "Nah, I met Shadur before. Pretty cool guy." With the Sanders squad stronger than ever, here's hoping Shiloh and Shadur land their dream NFL gigs, and the fam gets to toast the triumph in signature primetime style.